ABC 10 News at 5 starts now.
Neighbors say it sounded like the Indy 500.
That's right. Drag racers took over a quiet Solana Beach neighborhood Saturday night. Our ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco talks with one woman who says she was trapped in all this chaos.
A huge cloud of smoke. The sound of engines revving, cars doing donuts in the middle of a Solana Beach neighborhood.
All of a sudden, we're completely stopped, and there's cars and there's smoke, and you can hear tires squealing, and we're trapped. So we were like sitting ducks there.
Sally Fleck found herself trapped in the middle of what appears to have been an illegal street racing event Saturday night around 9:30.
It looked like zombies, to be quite honest, because there was so much smoke and it was so loud. And it was, I mean, I've lived here 20 some odd years and I've never seen anything like that.
Neighbors captured the chaos on their cell phones. Another video shows two pickup trucks speeding by. This is Loma Santa Fe at Via Mil Cumbres, a normally quiet residential area.
And there were people, they were standing around watching cars to do wheelies. It's lucky that no one got killed.
There are reports of illegal street racing increasing across Southern California. Some believe it's related to empty streets due to the pandemic, the large gatherings known as sideshows or takeovers.
I didn't even know street racing still happened.
For more than 2 decades, the parking lot of SDCCU Stadium provided drivers with a safe place to race, but that came to an end in March of last year.
I hope that it never happens again, and I'm really shocked that nobody was hurt because, I mean, the amount of disregard for safety was crazy.
Penalties for drag racing include fines and possible jail time. In Solana Beach, Rachel Bianco, ABC 10 News.
And we're told that spectators can face the same penalties. The sheriff's department says it got several calls about the event, but the crowd left before deputies could check it out.
Well, the County of San Diego has launched a new program that will open additional COVID-19 testing sites on a rotating basis. ABC 10 News reporter Marie Cornell shows us why certain locations were chosen.
The first testing site to open up under this program is right here in Little Italy at the Mexican consulate, a location people can get to very easily. People lined up in front of the consulate waiting to get their free COVID-19 test. This is part of the county's efforts to increase the number of testing sites while reaching out specifically to the Latino community. When checking in, the only information that will be asked is your zip code and your phone number and email. And that's to give you your test results.
It's free, it's easy access. We don't ask any kind of, any kind of immigration questions. We don't ask any kind of citizenship questions. It's just, we're here to allow the community to come in and get tested.
The latest data shows Latinos are still among the hardest hit by the coronavirus. As of last week's numbers, of the more than 42,000 confirmed cases in the county, Latinos account for 63% of that total. The county has been trying to reach out to this community by opening more COVID-19 testing sites in the South Bay and getting Spanish-speaking contact tracers. Through this new initiative, the county will continuously add testing sites on a rotating basis. The other locations will be announced soon. County officials tell us this testing site will remain open every Monday until a vaccine is created, and then it may even become a vaccination center. Reporting from Little Italy, Marie Cornell, ABC 10 News.
Hundreds of local small businesses are getting some much-needed funding to help them stay afloat. That includes restaurants like Grandma Tofu Korean Barbecue on Convoy Street.
They live the American dream. They opened a restaurant and they're struggling right now, and it's not their fault. It's not anyone's fault, but we want to do everything we can as a community to come together and help one another through these difficult times.
$2.5 million in funds will be granted to nearly 500 businesses. That money is from a relief program Supervisor Nathan Fletcher established in May. He says the average grant is about $5,000. The majority of the money available will be given to businesses in communities experiencing economic challenges and poverty. Applications are still being accepted on the county's website.
President Trump remains defiant about taking precautions to prevent the spread of COVID-19. As ABC's Karen Travers reports, the president held a big rally last night in Nevada that violated the state's coronavirus rules.
President Trump enters the final stretch of the campaign, increasingly ridiculing and ignoring COVID-19 restrictions, including an indoor rally in Nevada Sunday night. President Trump defying Nevada's COVID-19 restrictions, his first indoor rally in nearly 3 months. Thousands of supporters packed inside a warehouse, most not wearing masks. Nevada's Democratic governor has limited in-person gatherings, indoors and outdoors, to 50 people.
A great gentleman who owns this building said, you know what they're doing is really unfair. You can use my building. Don, I want to thank you. Don.
The president, in an interview with the Las Vegas Review-Journal, brushed off a question about his own safety and health while ignoring that of his supporters.
I'm on a stage that's very far away, and so I'm not at all concerned.
The Biden campaign called the Trump indoor rally a super spreader event.
Having huge rallies with large groups of people who are packed in together. It's not safe and it's not modeling good behavior.
But President Trump seems to relish in defying COVID restrictions, including those from his own task force. He's called his events peaceful protests, and he's mocked Joe Biden for wearing a mask.
It gives him a feeling of security. If I were a psychiatrist, right? No, I'd say this guy's got some big issues.
The last Trump indoor rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma in June resulted in several cases of COVID-19 among the campaign advance team and Secret Service. Tulsa health officials said the event, plus racial justice demonstrations, likely contributed to a spike in COVID cases in that area.
Asked last week if it was frustrating to see President Trump holding massive rallies with little to no mask wearing, Dr. Anthony Fauci said yes. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
UC San Diego is set to participate in a pilot program that could help prevent the spread of COVID-19. It works through Bluetooth technology. Users' smartphones will keep a log of other devices that come within 6 feet of them. If a person is diagnosed with COVID-19, they can enter a key code indicating they received a positive test. This will then generate an anonymous alert to the users who were within 6 feet of that person. The program will roll out later this month. And doctors are calling this the most important flu shot of the century. They say it is the best way to keep hospitalizations down when the pandemic enters flu season this fall. Fewer than half of adults get the flu shot every year, and experts say improving that by just 5% could lower the infection rate and free up medical necessities for COVID patients.
Quite often, tragedy such as the Valley Fire brings out the best in people. And as ABC 10 News reporter Steve Smith shows us, when it comes to lending a hand, even the youngest can make a big difference.
While the Valley Fire was raging southeast of Alpine, 20 miles away in Lemon Grove, 3-year-old Nicholas Klein sensed something was wrong.
Ash was falling and the sky was dark, which was odd. So he asked me what was going on. He didn't quite understand, like he doesn't really understand everything of the world.
And what he told his mom next, you might find surprising.
He asked if people were getting hurt. I let him know as of that time I had read no one had gotten hurt, but some people had lost their homes. So he asked me if he could raise money by doing a lemonade stand.
I wanted to help the people who lost their homes.
And of course, how could you say no?
And I was mind blown. He said, yes, Mommy, I want to help them find their homes, because he assumed they were lost.
So the family went to work building their own lemonade stand and squeezing their own lemons.
So much fun.
He had to build his lemonade stand. He went out and he picked lemons from a lemon tree.
With an initial goal to raise $7.
And $7 is huge to him. And I said, okay, well, let's try to get that goal.
Nicholas easily raised the $7 and a whole lot more.
He doesn't understand what he did yet, because he's at over $500 right now.
Making a difference at 3 years old.
I thought this was like an older stage type thing.
Steve Smith, ABC 10 News.
It's so cute. I'd buy lemonade. As of now, Nicholas has raised $601. A check will be presented to the Burn Institute in a ceremony to be held on Friday. Well, small vendors in the North County surviving the pandemic in a unique way.
When you go in there, you get this feeling of just like belonging.
The converted gas station, where they're all operating under the same roof.
And a bear goes strolling around in a backyard pool just inches away from that sleeping man. A 1930s gas station is giving local small vendors a lifeline during the pandemic. They are using it as a co-op where they set up their businesses all under one roof. Our ABC 10 News reporter Vanessa Paz shows how it works.
Like most small business owners, Tyler Pincos had a dream, and for him, it all came true in a warehouse.
When you go in there, you get this feeling of just like belonging, which is the whole goal.
He and other small vendors sell their products out of this large, trendy space in Oceanside called the Rising Co-op.
This new wave of retail to be able to showcase these smaller brands that normally, we wouldn't have this opportunity in bigger stores.
But smaller vendors inside, like his earth-friendly shoe business, were in trouble when COVID hit, and they turned to each other.
We got a big text message group. We do, Zoom calls to stay up to date and informed with everything going on in the shop, and we all rely on each other wholeheartedly.
And sharing the same roof meant sharing the same rent. Pincos said if they all had their own storefront, their businesses probably wouldn't have survived.
Definitely wouldn't have made it. The capital involved to start something of that magnitude, never mind how beautiful it is, and how well put together everything is, but it would have just been a money suck if it was just your own deal. And
since March, they've all relied on each other.
One vendor doesn't get sales for a couple days or a week. Another vendor does, and so we're all able to kind of be on the other person's back with this, which is really perfect.
And the silver lining, none of them went under, and they're starting to finally see things get back to normal.
Got to stay focused, and the passion will carry you through to success.
Rising Co-op is open 7 days a week, and you are required to wear masks and social distance while you shop. Vanessa Paz, ABC 10 News.
Things will look quite different tonight when Dancing with the Stars returns with a new season. Up next, you'll hear from the new host, the new judge, and see how COVID-19 is changing the format. The new season of Dancing with the Stars premieres tonight, and things really will be new. ABC's Rena Roy talked to the new host and shows how things will be different because of COVID-19.
A new host, a new judge, and a new season for Dancing with the Stars. Season 29 brings a lot of changes, starting with new host Tyra Banks, who will bring her own style to the show.
My style is just very raw, very real, a lot of humor, a lot of self-deprecation. Because I'm a producer, I'm not just hosting, I'm producing and seeing what's happening and understanding a moment that's about to happen, or a moment that happened, and not to let that slip.
The new judge is fan favorite and 6-time winner Derek Huff.
For me, I want to encourage, I want to inspire, I want to motivate, but I also am going to be honest.
Something else that's new this season is the show's first ever black female pro dancer, Britt Stewart. Other big changes